Hello, and welcome back to Stay Stitching. My name is Carla. I just wanted to start by saying that I'm having so much fun being a part of the YouTube community. It cracks us up around here. I told my son the other day that I had 40 subscribers, and he said, "Oh my gosh, Mom, we're going to have to be careful. People are going to start recognizing you when we're in town." And then, of course, we laugh hysterically. And I told my husband last night that I had 42 subscribers, and he said, "Well, I'm going to have to start treating you like you're a little more important from here on out, aren't I?" And I said, yes, you are. And so we're just having a lot of fun with it. Additionally, a YouTuber that I really admire, and I don't know if I should say her name, but her initials are GA, and if you watch any of the YouTube journalers, I'm sure that you can figure out who that is. She really made me feel fantastic by buying one of my journals and one of my ephemera kits, and I just, well, first of all, I was a little bit nervous because I'm such a beginner. I kind of don't want her to look too closely at that journal. And second of all, it made me feel really good because I'm kind of assuming that she has plenty of supplies and doesn't really need mine, which sort of made me think that she was just doing it to support another woman and another journaler and someone who is passionate about this. And so anyway, I was really grateful for that, and it made me feel really fantastic. And so thank you, GA. You really made my day. Okay, so what am I here today for? To show you my newest journal. This will be my third traveler's notebook, and you can see it fits right in a traveler's notebook cover. This is a cover that I'm not using right now. This does not come with the notebook. This is the notebook here. And so for this notebook, I did something I haven't done before. I added some little danglies, and I don't know if I did it right. I need to watch some videos. If you guys know of any videos on how to make the danglies, when we get to these are from the center of the signature, and I just tied them onto the well, whatever this is. It's not string. The crochet thread or whatever that is that I use to bind the journal. And so I'll show you when we get in there and you can see them a little more closely. Hopefully that was in frame. So I didn't put a closure on this. I haven't put a closure on any of my notebooks because even though they're junk journals, I kind of consider them to be traveler's notebooks. And this can certainly be carried around just like this. This is the plainest cover that I've done. And so this should handle going in and out of purses and backpacks fairly well. But I still didn't put, any kind of a permanent fix on it. I just tied it with this beautiful ribbon, which goes perfectly with these peachy colored roses, and so then it just kind of flops open if you don't have that in there. I haven't counted the pages. I will put that information in my Etsy shop when I list it. It'll be a few hours before I get this listed. So in the beginning, there's a clear plastic cover. Let me get something to stick in. How about this? There's a little pocket there. And then this is a small paper bag. And so I put some stuff in there to write on. This is a beautiful stamp. This is from an Etsy seller. I cannot remember the name of the shop. If anyone is just dying to know, I will go through my orders and figure this out, but this was a few years ago. I hope they're still in business. Oh, and I guess I should explain a little bit about this. This is the first time I've done a journal like this. This journal is a full year worth of pages, and each month has 2 or 3 pages in here, and then there's generally about one open page in between each month, and then there's 4 or 5 open pages at the end of the journal. And so I'll just show you as we go. I don't expect for you to use this necessarily as a specific calendar. I think it would be really great as a gratitude journal, and you can pick it up if you get it in April, then you just turn to April and right there. The other thing I thought it might be cool for is if you're doing renovations on a home. You've bought a home and it's going to take you a year to get everything in order. Or, if you've just started a new business, you can kind of write down, or if you've had a new baby, you can write down their milestones. This would just be anything. And then if you didn't want to do any of that, then you could literally just use it like a traveler's notebook and disregard the months at all. So it's got, a calendar theme to it. So there's that little bag. And then we start right away with January. And each month has one of these little vintage calendars. These are not current. So please don't think that January, that this is current. These are just decorative. I just put them on there because they're pretty and vintagey looking. And so that's the only reason why they're on there. This is vintage music paper. Most of my vintage sheet music is about 100 years old. And then beautiful little birds and a snowflake, some offcuts. Here is my little sheet out of the book that I gave my mother in 1995. It's about motherhood. I put one of these in every one of my journals, and I always put it in a manner that you could just take it out if you don't want it. So that's in there. It's kind of a way for me to honor my mother. She's no longer with us, but that doesn't mean that I don't think about her. And if you've lost someone, and then down here we have this adorable little character ice skating. So that's January, and another one of those snowflakes. Then we have some book paper, and I left this page blank. This is from the book Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. And I just thought that was a beautiful image. You can journal in here if you want. You can leave it blank. You can put a picture on top of it or whatever you want. Staple a receipt to it. But I just kind of loved this little family down here looking up at the cosmos. I just thought that was kind of cool. So then we have February. And this is just pattern paper. An interesting thing about the pattern paper that you see in my journals when I've added it, this would be actual pattern paper from an item that I have cut out and made, because I do a lot of sewing. I make a lot of my own wardrobe. And so I'm not really cutting up patterns that are whole and usable. This would be, part that, was not used after I cut out my pattern. And then I just put it through the sewing machine and made it look like this. You can write underneath there. These are all tea-dyed papers. On this side, I sewed a little pocket, and I put in this little, this is dictionary paper, and I sewed with silver thread. It says, "Listen to your heart." I just think that's a beautiful image. And so she fits right in here. And then these adorable children up here. And then more Valentines. What does that even say? Fly fondly hence and simply say, "I love" to my Valentine. More patterned paper, tea-dyed paper. Here's a little Valentine that you could give to someone with love. I just stuck that in there. Little heart with some rhinestones stuck on it. There's a little pocket here. And then it flips over. Beautiful tea-dyed paper. Here's March. I really loved this paper for March because there's the umbrellas and the rain here. And then this paper, for whatever reason, kind of looks like a rainstorm. That was nothing that I did intentionally. I have no idea how to make it look like that. That's just how the tea-dyeing gods made it look, and I'm grateful because I think it's gorgeous. This is a genuine vintage library card. It pains me a little bit to put it in here because I'm a bit of a hoarder, but I'm trying not to be. And I'd much rather this be in here and have someone write on it. I don't care if it's a grocery list. But isn't it better to have things used and, you know, just used instead of sitting in a box or a bag or crate or on a shelf somewhere? So there it is. I let go of it. Cute little St. Patrick's Day. Hello, the top of the morning to you. And then more rain. This comes right off. You can write secret notes in there if you like. This cool little ice cream cone shaped or teardrop shaped. Of course, my mind goes straight to ice cream, let's face it. Paper clip there. More tea-dyed paper. More Silent Spring. There's a little tuck spot in here. Like a little pocket, actually. It's sewn on this side and this side. And then here's another little pocket that I made and stuck down here. This is book paper from a Shakespeare book, and it's very brittle and very delicate. So I sewed it down to the more supple, strong paper, and then I just added a couple of little tags to it, and added this darling little fairy. And then here's the calendar down here, a little piece of fabric. I actually made a dress from this fabric. It's a vintage sheet, and I've never worn it. And I did a pretty good job on it, but once I got it on, it just was one of those things where I kind of don't know what I was thinking. I feel sort of like I'm wearing a vintage bed sheet when I have that dress on, and maybe someday I'll get up the nerve to wear it. But so far I have never worn it. I still love the fabric. I love those colors. So here's April. Bunnies. Tea-dyed tuck spot under there. More Silent Spring book paper. May. Sewed some beautiful crocheted lace down there. That's not vintage. That's new. I just bought that. And then just another beautiful vintage image. All these images are from Crafty Secrets. They come in, well, they did. They used to come in cardstock sheets, and you would just cut the images out. There's another one, more of my book sheet music paper. Some blank writing space. You can put pictures here, whatever you need. Beautiful robin and a little thread nest. A lot of the times I save my thread, and so when you see a thread nest in my work, it isn't an actual thread nest. It's saved thread ends. This one is an actual thread nest. My machine got all in a tiff while sewing on here, so that went right on there. This is supposed to look like a little Polaroid thing. I don't know that it actually does, but I still think it looks pretty. Under here, I don't know how well you can see that. There's a dragonfly under there. I put Crystal Effects or Liquid Glass, I don't know, whatever. You know, there's several brands that make it. And then I poured some art glitter on top of it. It's pretty, but it's real subtle. The dragonfly definitely does not show up as much as I thought it would. Maybe next time if I punch him out in black and do the same thing, it might be a more cool effect. We'll see. We'll try it again sometime. I don't mind when things aren't perfect. It doesn't bother me one dang bit. Here's more of those beautiful images. This is a butterfly die cut. This is a stamp. I stamped this onto this craft paper. And so this is the center. And this is another image from Silent Spring. And again, I didn't want to put anything on here because I think this is so pretty. We've got the raccoons on the tree branch. We've got a stream coming through here, a robin feeding her babies, a pheasant, a squirrel, a possum. I once saw a possum walking down the street like that. She walked just like you think someone with a bunch of babies on their back would walk. I don't know what these little guys are. Maybe quail. and then trout, and then a beaver. I just think this is so beautifully drawn. I just wanted to leave it. And here is where I added the two beads or whatever, danglies. I did add crystal effects to these knots, so they should stay secure for, excuse me, the life of the journal. If you don't want these on here, it'd be easy enough just to take a pair of scissors and cut that off. But here's the flower. It's super pretty. I mean, I'd wear that as earrings or a necklace, truthfully. And then this little guy, which has, it's hard for me to show you. It has a couple of three beads, and the bead is just gorgeous. It's green and iridescent. So that's my first attempt at that. Hopefully I'll figure out a little bit more about how to do that better. It's a beautiful robin stamp, some glitter. This glitter is not going to come off of here. It's a product called Stickles, and Stickles is a glitter glue, and so it doesn't spread. It won't get all over your house or your hands or anything. And then just some beautiful ribbon. This is my favorite color. I made a little pocket here. Tea-dyed paper. We're into July now. You can flap this up right underneath there. Do whatever you like with that. Little bathers. So cute. Kids over here. This is a tuck spot. Just put a little tea-dyed tab there. More vintage vintage sheet music. Back of the sheet music. And then this obviously is the negative for some butterflies that I die cut, and I thought it was so pretty I had to add it. I just love it. I think it just looks cool. So there it is. And then this is another little tuck spot. I just put a little tag that says enjoy the journey, since they're going on a trip. You can journal on the back of it. It's blank and ready to write on. And then we're into September. Kids, they're at school. And then just some letter stickers. And then here's a little girl. I guess she's bringing an apple to her teacher. I'm a teacher and nobody brings me apples. FGH. Those are just letters, random letters that I peeled off my sticker. They do sweet things like draw me pictures and whatever. October. So we have this classic image. Anybody who collects vintage images has seen that a million times. I made this little flip. It's not a pocket or anything. It's just a cute little fun Halloween thing. And then on the back, Happy Halloween book paper. Here for November, I put a whole sheet of my vintage bingo paper in. This is very long. And so the back is blank. And so you can make you can journal in here. You could add photos to that. That's a lot of space to do whatever it is that you want to do. And this little pocket is also a flap. It's on tea-dyed notebook paper. I love the little shred up here. The fringe, I guess. November. Thanksgiving greetings from November. Now we're into December. This is a rubber stamp I turned into a sticker. Die cut it. Little babies looking out the window. And then going to get the Christmas tree. I just think that's so sweet. I love these images. And this is my last. I can never make this journal again. I don't have any more of these little images. More book paper. Now we're to the back of the book where everything I've left blank. So this you can, put sticky notes on. You can glue a picture down to that. Whatever you want to do. And then more tea-dyed paper. And then more book paper. More sheet music. And then the other side of that paper bag, That would be great for storing receipts or anything, if you're using this as your house book. Now, I cut this pocket in half so that I could make this pocket here. And so I had this kind of weird spot left, this weird piece of it, and I kind of turned it around trying to figure out how I could make it work for this book. So it's on an angle here. And so if it's something small, you can kind of tuck it in all the way. But it doesn't have a bottom. Do you see that? It can come all the way through. But I figure if you tuck something in like that, and then it's, the book is shut, you're not going to lose it, provided it fits all the way in there. So a receipt you could fold up and stick in there. So it's sealed here and here, and it's open here and here. It can't go through the book, though, because the signature is sewn in. And then the back I just left blank. I love this paper, so I used it on both the front and the inside. I think it's gorgeous. And then I put a little washi tape on the spine just to stabilize it. And I just thought it was so pretty. And I thought, since this was a journal that was supposed to sort of last the whole year, I thought that the black background kind of helped it make it through the winter months. And then, the flowers obviously help it make through, the spring and summer months. So anyway, I know that I went on for an awfully long time. I hope you like this concept, and I think that people will have a lot of really fantastic ideas on how to use a book like this. This will be in my Etsy shop in the next few hours. I hope you're having a fantastic Easter weekend. Take care.